Wait, I know. I'm going to talk about Sleepy Hollow. Hi guys, I was just trying something out, looking at this classroom, noticing how just sad it is right now. So I thought that I would just kind of tell you a little bit about Sleepy Hollow. I have my computer next to me, so I'm not just kind of like going like this all the time, but that's just where we're at. So, a couple of things. The Sleepy Hollow unit, you will notice, is a bonus unit, so you don't actually technically have to do that one, but it's a really fun little unit. Also, with all of these units, I did upload the teacher copy, so there's a bit of extra information that you don't need to know, but you're welcome. Okay, so with Sleepy Hollow is a legend. It's called the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, technically. Now, a legend is a traditional story based on a historical figure, but legends tend to exaggerate. So you've got your Paul Bunyan, who might not have been a giant, your Johnny Appleseed, who was just a weird homeless man who wore funny hats and planted a bunch of apple seeds. But legends and myths give us clues about the cultural values and what people valued when those legends and myths were created, kind of like fairy tales. So Washington Irving is the author of Sleepy Hollow, and he wrote an entire book of short stories. Also, he wrote the story of Rip Van Winkle, which is about the guy who falls asleep for like a long time and wakes up and his kids are adults and they're like, "You must be speaking of my father. He went into the woods one day and never came back." And he's like, "That is me." Now, Washington Irving is actually considered to be one of the first great American writers, and his stories, Rip Van Winkle and Sleepy Hollow, are considered to be the first uniquely American folklore. One of the first things that was just ours. Now, we had kind of, at the time, the author of this unit calls it cultural inferiority complex. Basically, America was like, everyone else has these fabulous myths and stories, and like the English have King Arthur and the Greeks have all of it. What do we have? Nothing. So Washington Irving took the Hudson River Valley and added some information to it, the Headless Horseman and Rip Van Winkle. So the big story in Sleepy Hollow, okay, goes like this. Ichabod Crane, the schoolmaster, very superstitious, shows up in Sleepy Hollow and falls in love with the town's beauty, Katrina Van Tassel. Now, there's this other dude, his name is Brom Bones, and that's his rival for Katrina Van Tassel. She kind of plays the two off of each other for a while. The Van Tassels invite Brom Bones and Ichabod Crane to a ball. Ichabod's going to propose, but at the ball, Brom Bones tells the story about how he raced the Headless Horseman and won because the horseman loses his power at a specific bridge. So Ichabod proposes, Brom Bones storms out, Katrina rejects Ichabod, runs after Brom. Ichabod is sad and rides home and meets the Headless Horseman. What happens? Well, it's in the thing, so just read it and figure out. So the first thing you're going to do after you read it is you're going to make a list of characters and tell me what they look like. Then after you read the story, you're going to write down some questions for me, either on a piece of paper that you're going to take a picture of and scan into me, or on a printout of the PDF that you're going to bring in. Okay, what questions did the text not answer, and then you're going to answer the questions at the end, reading comprehension questions. Why does Ichabod actually come to town? How are Ichabod and Brom alike? How are they similar? All that good stuff. What do we know about this legend? The other part of that is that there's a little article about the jack-o'-lantern, which was very interesting. I enjoyed it. Now, the jack-o'-lantern is an Irish myth, where this guy named Stingy Jack, who invited the devil to have a drink with him, but he didn't want to pay, so he convinced the devil to turn himself into money so that he could buy their drinks. The devil does it, which is crazy. And then Jack puts the money next to a silver cross, so the devil's basically trapped as a coin for a year. So then they decided, after a while, basically Stingy Jack lets the devil free, and he keeps tricking him, so finally he can't be bothered for 10 more years, and he gets to live a little bit longer. And then you have the jack-o'-lanterns. Because, so Jack dies, Stingy Jack dies, and God's like, you don't get to come into heaven, you're kind of a jerk. And then the devil is like, no, I told you I wouldn't take your soul, and also, you trapped me as a coin for a long time, and I don't care for you. Also, I was trapped in a tree for a while, so no. So Jack has to roam around on the world, and he has been carrying this lantern for a while. So that's kind of where that story comes from. The Hudson River Valley adopted the jack-o'-lantern story. Originally, it was a pumpkin, which is less fun. Then there's some questions about that little legend. And then there's some suggested answers at the end. If you just do the suggested answers, I will know, and that will be sad. But, you know, just they're there. So the legend of Sleepy Hollow is interesting because, like I said, it is one of the first American myths that was just ours. We would grow on, of course, to develop lots of awesome stories. We've got Paul Bunyan and Johnny Appleseed and Pecos Bill and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. So it wasn't the end of it, but it started out kind of... So let me know. I don't know if I have a comment section on this, but let me know what some of your favorite myths and legends are in America. If you bring me one, that would be awesome. And have a wonderful day. Wash your hands. Stay safe. Bye.